Oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? I'm 50 and I haven't saved a dime. This video is for you. I'm gonna show you how to get into this and make it happen so you can actually retire. Stay tuned. I won't lie to you. I have saved sizable amounts of money over my lifetime. My biggest mistake that I made is I turned around and spent the dang money. That was very stupid of me. I didn't learn the number one rule of saving, and that is don't ever spend your principal. Find a way to get the interest. If you want to spend the interest, fill your boots. You're hurting yourself in the long run, but if you want to go get another car or a trip or something, then don't spend the principal, spend only the interest. That was my rant. But I got a great video here for you because I know that you're running out of time. I was 56 and I was realizing that I was in trouble. I had saved maybe $20,000. I needed to start saving like crazy. Well, I will tell you that I've been doing that. Am I a millionaire? No, not yet. I'm working on it, but I'm definitely 100,000-aire, and I've been able to do that very quickly. Watch this video, it'll give you an idea, and it's going to show you the things that you need to know if you're in your 50s and you want to save. You have to realize that if you want to save and have something into retirement, let's say when you hit 65, you have to save a lot on a monthly basis, and you have to find ways to cut corners in this age category to actually be able to save. But the trick here is just even if you haven't got a lot of extra money, don't give up. Save something. Make your retirement feasible. The number one thing I'm going to tell you before we get into the actual analysis of the numbers is the day you decide to start saving, the universe is going to conspire to help you out. So be sure to start saving today. We've come to the site calculator.net, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a look. We're assuming that we are 50 years old and we haven't got a lot of time. We want to retire at 60 or 65. I'm going to push it out to 65. You need time when it comes. You need to suck time out of anywhere that you can when you hit 50 or older, because saving becomes a lot harder. You've lost that real superpower called time that works with compound interest. So let's take a look here. What we're going to do is we're going to go into the investment calculator here, okay? And we're going to start out with a zero balance. Let's say you hit 50 years old and you're like, I got to save. I've got to save. I want to retire at 65, so in 15 years. And let's say I'm getting a 10% return, and it's going to be compounded monthly, and I'm going to put $500 a month away. Okay, and I'm going to start it at the beginning here. Let's take a look in here, see what we end up with. Now, interest does help. Most of what we save is interest. It's not what we put in. Our contributions is only about 43.1%, and that is at $90,000. And the rest of it, the $118,000, is interest. So we've saved up. It's not bad. It's healthy. $208,000. Now, it's not, in my opinion, enough to retire on, especially a couple. If you consider, let's say in 15 years from now as well, you're going to need a little bit more than that. I'm finding that I've looked at my retirement funds and that my retirement windows in the next 5 years or so, and I'm going to need about 370 to 400, 500,000 would be very comfortable, but 375,000 minimum, and that would be a burn down fund. In other words, over time, as I continue to live, it should last the rest of my life and the rest of my wife's life. But I have to consider you've lost the element of time. You can't create more time. Yes, after you've retired, your money will have time to continue to compound whatever's left in the fund on a monthly basis. But if you're drawing that fund down and you're taking more than it's gaining in interest, you will draw that fund down over time, and it will be fairly dramatic. And the curves look almost the same on a burn down, just against you. So we have to find a way to increase our monthly contributions. The safest thing to do, let's say, is let's try to save $1,200 a month. Let's go from $500 to $1,200 a month. Yes, it could be tough for you in your situation, but even if you take a little part-time job to put a few bucks away, It's not unreasonable. I've done it. So let's calculate this. All of a sudden it jumps us up to just over $500,000. Now we're getting into comfort zone. Now we're getting into a place where it's like, okay, this is a little better. This is a little better. Now we do have another superpower, and that's our compound interest and our interest rate. Now let's say with our wise investing, we've done our homework, we start contributing $1,200 a month, but we're able to increase our rate of return to 13%. It's not a more staggering 15%, but it's 13%. It's not a little bit, it's beating the markets by about 2 or 3%, staying ahead of inflation, etc., etc. Let's see what a difference it makes. It goes from 10% to 13%. Remember, we're able to save just over $500,000. Let's see what a difference this makes. We're up to $666,000. In other words, we have been able to save in that same time frame, same contributions, with just a slightly higher rate of return, an extra $165,000. That's just incredible. And now you're getting into this place where you know you're going to be good. You're going to be golden. Now, if you're 50 and you haven't started saving, yes, time is against you. But if you're able to put more money into it and get a slightly higher interest rate, yes, you will have to do your homework. Yes, you may have to work a few extra hours because you're going to have to raise your contributions on a monthly basis. You're going to have to see if you can get a slightly better rate of return. But if you can do all those things, you can be independently wealthy and retire at 65, just hunky-dory. I can so relate to this video, and I came to realize that I had to save. Now let me tell you, earlier in the video I'd said to you the universe will conspire to help you out. It is so true. Let me tell you why. I started saving about $500 a month. That's all I could afford to save. That was it. In 14 months I'd saved over $100,000. And that was, I had $20,000 to put into it, but that was up and above that $20,000 in 14 months. Now you'd say to yourself, how did you get to $100,000 if I only saved $500 a month? Well, I didn't. That's my point. The universe conspired to help me out. All of a sudden, I had a tax return of $6,000, $7,000, and then I had some cryptocurrency go really well for me. And there was another $10,000, and then I had a little gig that came up, and I was able to earn another $40,000 part-time. The universe just helped me out like crazy, and I'm just going to leave it at that. My number one takeaway for you is, if you're in your 50s and you haven't started saving, you got to start saving. Just don't go, oh well, I'm going to be eating cat food in my retirement. That's not cool. That is not cool. And it's not cool to be busted when you retire. I want to see you have a great retirement. I really do. I want to see me have a great retirement, you have a great retirement. So start saving today. If you haven't watched any of my other videos, take a peek. I've got one displaying right now that you should start watching. It's the one about starting to save. So take a peek at that. Hopefully you found some quality in this, and I thank you for watching it today. This is Frank Thomas. We'll talk to you later.